Yo,
Yes.
what's good?
They are.
Back in the building. Shouts to the man them in the building.
Just the boys this week, innit?
Yeah, just hella testosterone in that.
Don't worry, we ain't got rid of Chrissy. She's on sick leave.
Yeah, sick leave, man. Everyone's getting got.
Bro, listen, you went there to December. this is what you got to do.
No, but apparently, like, there's this like 100-day cough. Like, have you heard?
100-day cough.
Yeah, that's been going around and that.
No, I'm trying to dodge that. Right, January's peak, bro. Listen, January's had about 7 weeks. We're waiting for that payday.
Bro.
I can't afford any time off.
Like, it's a struggle. And like, the weather the other day went down to like what, -5.
But when we get them mad heat waves,
I don't want to hear anyone saying, "Yeah, I prefer winter again."
No, but this is the get back in it. You want that 30 plus, that 32, 33.
Why would you choose like this type of weather? I don't understand.
I think some people like the winter just because of like drip, like big jackets.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes the drip ain't even slapping like that. Like,
I mean, you said it. I didn't say it. You said it. I'm talking about comfortability, big jackets, scarves. Like there is like obviously when it's too cold, it's too cold. But it's like, you know, like when it's like single digit. Like 7, 8 degrees.
Yeah. That
Still
like fresh air, like that crisp.
Like
winter, like the sun is out.
Blue.
Yeah,
but
it's still winter.
Chill,
yeah.
I'm not mad at that, but listen,
when it's all dark and grey and that, it's kind of bad vibes, isn't it?
You don't want to leave the house.
Yeah, like you want to stay in bed kind of thing.
Gym's there, you're like, I'll get to you later. That's what it feel like. Gym's right there, you're like, you know what, I'll get to you later. Nah, man.
I'm trying not to be that person.
So you've been consistent.
I'm trying, bro.
Yeah.
Like even if it's raining, I'm there.
So you know you got the itch.
Yeah. All the new year, new me people, get out.
Don't be bad vibes, bro. Like
it all started somewhere.
Listen, you was there once, you know.
I hear it.
Man, get to the gym, you get two shoulders, and suddenly now they can't go Tesco again.
It's like people that drive, they have no regard for like new learners. Like,
no. I was some horrific driving on the roads. I'm like, bro, loud man. Like you can tell
you were there once, like once before, innit? Like, allow it.
That was the time, but I'm happy to be back.
Yes.
This is episode 424.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, we'll be in the trenches, bro. So
in the trenches for real.
Time to pod. But hashtag off the cuff pod.
Come on.
If you're listening for the first time, my name is Fols Forever.
I'm Mr Vans.
And I said no Chrissy this week, but I always got a shout out to Chrissy Hive.
Chrissy Hive.
She's resting and recuperating.
Get well soon.
Get well soon to Chris. If you're listening or watching, you're probably wondering who's that third gentleman to Fols and Vans is right. Introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are. And we can get into some good chat hopefully this week.
Cool. I'm Aniefiok, also known as Neef, writer, journalist from South, and I've just released my first book, which is sitting there nice and pretty on the table. Come on. Called Where We Come From, Rap Home and Hope in Modern.
Or is that your bookmark?
Fling that out. I'll hold the book properly. Where We Come From, right here. Beautiful book.
A man from South, you know. I need some Southern representation on the pod.
South people are always appropriating, man. Like, they're always going around everywhere, man. Every rave, like when it gets to South London, even the people that ain't from South are shouting. Yeah,
we're many in number.
It's like
as my pops would say.
Nigeria as well. If you're in the rave and you hear Jamaica or Nigeria, I feel like it's the same.
It's a madness.
Yeah, but a lot of appropriation. You got certain dons that are from Kent and that pretending to be from Jamaica and that. Man, sitting us with the off-brand patois and I'm just looking at the donny like, you know what? It's not my place. I'm not from there, so I won't chime in too much. But when I saw that, I was like, this is a spectacle to say the least, isn't it? So, But thanks for coming down. So this is your first book.
Yeah, first book. Where
We Come From. So for people that maybe obviously like listening to this and hearing your voice for the first time, your name, why writing? Why was that the thing for you?
You know what it was? It's like I started writing in like uni times, 2012. And then I was doing, I guess, like African parents, like my dad's Nigerian, mum's Cameroonian. They like were like, do a degree that you like, or do a degree that is gonna.
You like?
You. No, yeah, I was
don't sit there, start lying.
It was opposite. It was like do a degree that's gonna get you like a good job, good money, and then I was doing law, and then like from the first week, like I hated it, but I think I was the last year before the fees trebled. So I couldn't even change because it was like if I was going to change, then I'm going to be paying 9,000 instead of 3,000. So then I think that just pushed me to be like, if I'm spending every day reading something I hate, let me at least have something on the side that I'm enjoying a little bit.
Yeah,
and like that's when the writing came in around that time. I just started like blogging. I think I was blogging for like Link Up TV first, but like just writing about music articles and that kind of thing. That's where like it started, like probably like 10 years ago now. Yeah,
The blog era is a lost era, you know.
Bro, I was deep in it, man. Like, obviously, ended up being a podcast, but like, it was something that I enjoyed doing, especially at a time where like it was just one of those things where people like myself would just jump online and like write about, you know, your interests, which mine was music.
Yeah.
So it was enjoyable, like, and you know, like having a specific writing style, and you know, just trying to convey what you're talking about in a way that, you know, people can imagine.
Yeah, no, I remember that. I feel like the blog era is like, as you say, it's kind of a lost time, but I feel like a lot of the artists, even that got big off it or are big now, like came from that time period. Like even
for sure.
Like the American side of things, obviously here as well. Like I feel like that was like such a crucial.
It was a big coast. And people like your Pitchforks. Obviously, Rap Radio essentially was a blog back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were others I'm forgetting. Like it was definitely a big thing. Like if they co-signed you, or you know, you got that big look at the top of the website and stuff. It was a big deal.
Yeah. Even like that Piff and all of those websites, they were huge.
World Star.
Yeah. It had its
Crazy.
time. It had its time.
Yeah.
World Star was a time.
World Star was an actual time.
So you got that premiere on World Star, it was a big deal. Obviously, you had the fight videos, all the stuff that's when we switched to like the more viral, just like nonsense and that, but we will enjoy it a little bit in it. So
yes, you could have the balance.
No, you need the balance, man. You want to study law, and the man said you know, just on the side and that flair. So you said you kind of got your start first. Link Up TV, you was writing. Where do we go to next after?
So when I came out of uni, I was like, okay, like what do I actually want to do now?
Yeah.
And then so I was still writing, but then I was like, okay, I need to like find some kind of internship. It was like that time, like you're just applying. I didn't even know how to apply for jobs. I'm like applying for like mid-level jobs. I have no job experience, anything like that. So I'm trying to figure that out. But then I got like an internship at a place called Sidetracked, which was like kind of like a music PR company. But it was run by this lady, Cyan Anderson. She's
I know,
Shout out Cyan. She's been a guest on the show.
Oh, okay, yeah. So she's like a legend, and so at that place, like that's where I've fully got introduced into like the music industry, the different things you can do if you want to do marketing, if you want to do writing, if you want to do blogging. And then so PR wasn't for me because I'm more like introverted as a person. So I feel like PR, like you've got to be like on, like ready to talk to people all the time.
Right.
Like, that wasn't me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and focus on the writing side of things. And so from there I started freelancing for like who was the blogs at the time? It was like after Link Up there was stuff like Flavor Mag, Clash Mag, all of these like smaller
was
websites.
Rewind Mag, were they a blog at the time?
Yeah. I started writing for Rewind with like when Tigo was like heading up Rewind.
I remember them.
Right.
Yeah, I was writing for them, and then I got a job in marketing for like a year.
Got to pay the bills.
Got to pay the bills.
And her parents breathing down your neck.
Yeah, my mum was like, she wasn't. I was like, I'm trying.
Writing what?
Yeah. She was not getting it, so I was like, let me get this job for a year. It was like a marketing agency in a like Waterloo area. And then after that, I just went traveling for like 3 months, maybe 4 months. And then that's when I had like the classic, like people have their epiphany whilst they're traveling away. That was like me. Like
where in the world were you?
Set the scene.
I went Hong Kong and Japan.
I knew it was East
I
Asia. I knew
it was around those regions.
I'm gonna say, he was in Thailand, full moon party and that. Donnie's off the shrooms. It's like, you know what? When I get back, I'm gonna write this book.
That was me essentially. I went to Hong Kong first. I went to Hong Kong first for like 2 weeks. Then I went to Japan for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then there's like off like Japan. There's like these mountains where you can go and like kind of like where all the monks live, but they have like restaurants and stuff like that you can just go sit in there.
It's gentrified up there.
Yeah, probably now, yeah. But they were still like, obviously I didn't know nothing about Japanese culture at the time, so stuff like, obviously they have no knives and forks, it was just chopsticks, all of this kind of thing. So I was like a fish out of water essentially. But then when I was there, I was like, okay, like I was thinking to myself, what do I actually like want to do? Like if I've got like an opportunity now where I haven't got that much risk in my life at the minute, like what do I actually want to do? And then I thought, you know what, fuck it, let me just like try writing properly. So then when I got back, I think I got a job at SBTV like 3 months late after that.
Sick.
And then that's kind of like where like things properly started to happen, because I worked there for like 1.5 years and then started freelancing after that, and I've been freelancing ever since.
Ever since then?
Yeah.
Talk to me a little about the world of freelancing, because I see we have a lot of creatives come on the podcast. And I see a lot of chatter online about people chasing invoices, and especially in the day and age you live with cost of living crisis. What is that life like?
No, the freelancing life can be difficult, like especially at the beginning, like where you like trying to make your name essentially. So you're kind of taking all these different jobs. I was doing like, I remember I did like some like copywriting. I was doing all different things at the time, trying to figure it out. But yeah, like people don't. It's like people press you for the work. Like, where's the work? Where's the work? So intense. Then you submit the work and then they just disappear. You're like, you try to pay your invoice, you're not hearing back for a week, 2 weeks. Hasn't been as bad recently, but I know people like they haven't been paid for like 4 or 5 months. I know people who've had to turn up at the office to be like, where's the money? Like, it's been 6 months, you haven't paid me. So yeah, the freelance
pulling up, you know.
Yeah, I know a few people that have done that.
I'm gonna take these words back off the page. You go.
Sometimes you have to pull up. Sometimes you have to pull up. I guess like you left no choice. Yeah, you're gonna see it a lot more like in this economy.
Yeah, in this.
That's true. I've never had. I've taken little risks, but like I feel you feel like as you're getting older, that's a bit more settled. You have things that are like their dates. This money comes out. And you can't show it for now. I always like look back sometimes, not with regret, but I'm like, that was the point maybe where I take a bit more risk, because now as you get, it's just we're all getting on a bit. It's just like Sometimes I look at my bills. I'm like, boy, if I've been living at home for the last 5 years, what I've been spending whilst I'm living at the house, it's a pretty penny, innit?
Nah, I feel like even as I get older now, when like younger writers ask me for advice, like 5 years ago, they said like, yeah, fuck it, just take the jump, like do what you need to do. Now I'm like, I find my advice like, tell me what's the situation going on in your life. It's a bit more
a seasoned approach.
Yeah.
No, I get it, man. Listen, we're here now. So we got the book, Where We Come From, Rap, Home, and Hope in Modern Britain. I love that. It's mad. When you read that, okay, cool. This is something we can get our teeth into. So I hope from this conversation we have, there are more people that are intrigued and want to go out and get the book, and we can definitely revisit as we the coming weeks come. But like, give people a bit of a synopsis, what the book's about, a breakdown, and we can delve some of the topics.
So it's essentially like a social history of like British rap. And UK rap and grime predominantly, but then just like wider, I guess, like MC culture in general. Like when I was freelancing, a lot of my articles were about music, and it was like interviewing musicians. So I was like interviewing the musicians up and down the country. And then when I was doing that, I was doing like at SBTV, we do stuff where we'd like do a day with gigs or like a day with JK. So we're going to all of these different places and seeing how not just the music, but like how people respond to the musicians, and like what role like the music plays in people's lives as well. And so when I started to do that more and more, and then I started to freelance for like The Guardian, and you do it and you see like how they're resonating with a completely different audience, I was thinking to myself, like, there's definitely like a wider story to be told here about like the history of the genres that hasn't really been documented, especially as it's got so big now. I think some people may look at like a Stormzy or a Dave and just think, oh, like this just happened overnight. Like,
that's not the starting point.
Exactly. So I wanted to kind of show like the roots and the history of the music all across the country, really. So I was going up and down the country to write this book, but that was like the main focus, is to kind of like put this time period into history in that sense, and to really show like where the music comes from and like why it's so impactful and what it represents.
With the timeline of your career so far, at what point did you decide that I'm going to document this and put it into a book?
There was a few times, like I think it's hard because like with a book, like there's like you have the idea to do a book, but you don't, because I didn't know anyone who'd written a book before, really. So it's like hard to even. Then you're starting to think like, how do I actually go about writing a book and putting it?
Yeah, like what really goes into writing a book? Like,
it's a lot. It's a lot of planning. Like obviously everyone's different. Like I know like Derek, his like I think his Derek Owusu.
Yeah.
I think like he's probably like someone I look to a lot, because he's got like a very specific style of writing and how he does it, and that's kind of similar to, I guess, the way in which I write as well. So it's like a lot of structure, but then because it's non-fiction, like you have to do like a lot of interviews. I think I did over like 60 interviews for the book. It took like 5 years to do all the interviews.
Wow.
And then put it together and then write it as well. So and then also like because it's history, like you have to make sure like you're getting like the specifics right, just in case like you're getting like crucial things wrong.
People start challenging you on Twitter and that.
You don't want an old school grime MC saying, that was incorrect, or I produced that beat.
Yeah, you weren't outside. They start putting you in a bar and that.
So how hard or easy was it to do? Because like about 60 interviews you did, to go and find those individuals or corporations. How? Because like there's a lot of stuff that's like lost pre-internet.
Yeah. That was the interesting thing. Is like a lot of the story. I think like with like Black history in general, I feel like a lot of it is like oral. It's like not really written down.
If you know, you know type of vibe.
Yeah, exactly. So even like going to try and find those stories was like the hardest part. Like say like a third of the book is like about South. So split into 3 sections like South, the West Midlands and South Wales. Yeah. And then so like the third about South was like I kind of knew already, or I knew where to start because I either knew the people I needed to speak to, or I knew I could get to that person through someone else. Whereas like the other areas where like
that must have been challenging.
Yeah, you're kind of just turning up as a stranger. Like Wales, I kind of turned up as a stranger.
Wales.
Yeah. People no,
South Wales, like
like Cardiff and Newport, like those areas. I didn't know anybody from there, so it's like that's where you're like really getting into the journalism of like investigating, digging.
Yeah, that's where you really have to put your journalistic hat on because like when you go to somewhere that you've never been before and you know no one, you kind of like have to say to yourself like, where do I even start? I need to have a reference point, and then everything will hopefully fall into place.
Yeah, that was literally it. I think like the first time I emailed this guy, his name's Phil. He was like an MC from Cardiff, and then I was like, I'm trying to write this book. Like I want to try to come to Wales. Like, can I interview you? He was like, yeah, for sure. And then I got to Wales. And we like spent like 7 hours chatting like the first day, and then he was just telling me the history of Cardiff. All of this stuff, like Cardiff got like one of the oldest Black communities in the UK, all of these different things that I didn't know. And then from there, he was like, okay, you need to chat to this person, you need to chat to this person, and then like it kind of started to open doors like that. But then when I at the end of it, you realize like a lot of the cities have like very similar stories. Like a lot of the places that the music comes out of, obviously tied by all of these different things. So it was like it wasn't that difficult in the end to tie them up. But I think I learned a lot in the process. And in Birmingham, like Birmingham's like is a crazy place in a lot of ways. So that was like, the whole West Midlands section.
I say it a lot. I say it a lot.
Yeah,
I've had good times in Birmingham.
Yeah,
can't lie.
All right.
Yeah.
Why were those just 3 areas, like in terms of like, so you got South, you got West Midlands, Wales. Why were those the 3 key? Why were they so key to the book?
I think it's because I wanted to try show with the book. I wanted to show like as much as I wanted to show like a history of rap in the UK and the history of grime in the UK. I also wanted to kind of just show like what does it look like? What does Britain look like today? Essentially, like how are people living in the country? So a lot of the way the book is written is like almost like quite documentary feel. Like you're kind of living the history through other people's eyes. So I'm really telling their stories and using their stories to tell the history of the genre. And then I thought, if I really want to be serious about calling it Rap Home and Hope in Modern Britain, is like I kind of have to leave England. Like I can't just stay in London or the West Midlands. So I went up to Scotland a few times, but there wasn't really like the kind of stories there that I thought would work. And then so when I went to Wales, like Wales had like this crazy history of just like obviously like Black communities, Black music, obviously crazy history of grime that I didn't know about, crazy history of UK rap, and then like even stuff like garage and all of these things. So that felt like a perfect place to include. And I think it's something people wouldn't expect either. I feel like obviously London, people know of London. Yeah. People know of Birmingham, but I feel like Wales was kind of an on.
Even in Birmingham, still loads of lost stories and stuff. He was reading the book and just like I think he was talking about the riots in Handsworth and stuff, and just like how important the radio station was then, and like the birth of pirate radio then as well. And I will try not to do spoiler, but I've been watching obviously The Kitchen, and there's obviously Ian Wright's in The Kitchen, and he's
the Kitchener,
the Lord Kitchener. He's the radio host there, innit? And whilst everything's going on, he's basically the voice for the people, warning them when like the feds are about, and just kind of uplifting the spirits. That for me was like it was like, oh, this is perfect time. Reading the book, and that's a direct parallel with what's kind of happening. It's what happened in Handsworth at the time. I've forgotten the name of the radio station, but
PCRL.
Yeah, PCRL, which is like massive. You know, Donny got arrested like numerous times, taken to court. You know, but still kept on fighting. Obviously, eventually got to shut down the radio station, but that's allegedly because of the higher ups. Clocking that you're taking away the listenership from like your BBCs and your more mainstream radio. They're gonna strong arm you in it. So no, that side of the book was really interesting, because I'm like, I've always known the pirate radio story, especially from grime, because that's how a lot of us were introduced to new MCs from different areas. Because pre-internet, if you're bubble South London, you don't really, unless you've got cousins in the East or this, like if you don't really leave your area, you don't know much about other areas.
Yeah, let alone like other like towns in the UK.
That's a whole different.
That's a whole different like spectrum, and you know, like if not for the book, I wouldn't have known about the culture in Wales like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I was
Like,
even thinking, I don't know any
I've
Welsh
never-
MCs.
Yeah.
Like I've got cousins in Cardiff, but like I've never bothered to go and visit.
Well, you haven't been down there.
Nah, I haven't.
So they just send us new stuff every week.
Because I don't know, like it's just never, you know, appealed to me in that way.
Yeah,
So
I have to make that trip, man.
yeah.
Got to see more what's out
Summertime,
there.
it's a nice place in the summer, Cardiff, I think. But yeah, no, I hear you. I feel like I wouldn't have known a lot of that stuff either. And I think that's why it's so important to put in, because I wanted to show like that kind of connected history of the places and of the music as well. But then tell like outside of just, because I guess like if you've grown up with the music, you know, like there's all these other influences like sound systems, garage, all of these different things. But if you haven't, then like you may be unaware of that. So like stuff like PCRL, I thought was important to put in, because that like directly feeds into not just the music on like setting like a bedrock for pirate radio, but then also like even like on a cultural level of like.
I was literally gonna say it's a culture. It's not just the music. It's, you know, marking a moment in time, our own voices. Obviously, there's a lot of that like anti-establishment sentiment at the time. Understandably, what's going on in terms of society, you know, poverty, jobs, being in a new country, and like the racial like elements as well. So it all kind of ties in, and it's a shame a lot of those things still kind of exist now. But it tells a story, so because they're interlinked in it. So what was your favorite place to visit when it came to doing the research though?
Probably I would say, there's a few places. Birmingham was a good one, because like it was interesting, as you say, like in terms of like what's gone on in the country before. I think like with being from like West African background, you don't really hear stories of like what was the UK like in the 60s or the 50s.
Yeah.
Because like I guess my parents came in like the 80s and stuff like that. So then going to sit with like Cecil Morris, who was like made PCRL, and like hear like he came from Jamaica in like 1950 something. So it's like
crazy
hearing like a crazy time period from the UK that I just never been exposed to before. That was like really interesting to hear about. And then I think going to like, there's a chapter where I go to the South Wales valleys. It's like towards the end, but that's like if Cardiff is like the more multicultural place of Wales, like the South Wales valleys is like 96% like white.
Oh, you was deep in there, yeah.
Towns like mountain ranges, like steel factories, but they're like rapping there about essentially like really the like impoverished like communities as well. And going there, I was like, oh snap! Like this is
about 8 Mile raps.
There's bad devils up there.
Bad devlins.
Like you can see like people like why
people got a story, you know.
Yeah. Like going to them places was like that was like an eye opener, because I was like I didn't think places like this in the UK even like existed like anymore. Like when you see like you like driving into the place and you're just seeing like bare smoke from all the factories.
Be honest, Neef. What the rap saying?
no, like some of them are good. Like the guy Luke, he is actually really good. But I think it's like they're more gonna blend rap with like other genres.
Right.
It's less like straight rap. But some of them, like I think like someone like Luke, like who was in the book, he's like a rapper from there. Like he's actually sick. But I think the thing they struggle with is like infrastructure. Like they don't, I think, have like access.
Whoever has that channel first, like a prominent channel on the internet, like how like a JDZ Media blew up. Someone just needs to have a channel and just start putting on for the rappers up there. I feel like it's been the last like 5-10 years, we've seen more of a shift where it's not always been successful, but like a shift where people are like, or at least the pillars in like UK rap, grime, whatever, are looking outside of London. That's why Bugsy can cut through. Whether he won the clash or not is up for debate, whatever. But you just want to hear someone else, even if my man, he maybe got rubbed out a little because of the Link Up TV listening party, J1. You have like moments, innit? We just want to hear different voices. Miss cuts through because you just
we're
a little bit too London focused at times.
Like there's a lot of guys now. H is obviously doing this thing and stuff like that. So I feel like obviously now like we've got to where it's got to at the moment, like as in like the industry, we're still kind of building our own infrastructure to then like start like, you know, sourcing talent from different parts of the UK. Because you know, some people may be thinking that like these guys would rather go overseas than start looking in, you know, small pockets of the UK. Like they're sort of like the forgotten people outside of London and like the other major cities in the UK.
So if you can find a little diamond in the rough, you've got like a gold mine, because like you said, if they've got no infrastructure, whoever's first to that, if they do it right, obviously. Now, you know, sometimes when you're the first one to do it, you don't necessarily always get the plaudits, but whoever like can see, okay, cool, this is what it looks like elsewhere,
Because you don't even necessarily have to cut through in London. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Like, you can get the support of that section of the UK, and it's a pretty sustainable career.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think I don't know if you. I need an
Like,
example.
if you've got like, for example, the entire Midlands, like, and above, fucking with your music, like.
But the labels are still down here. You still have to come and, bro. You still got.
Oh,
you
yeah,
still
no,
got to bend the knee and kiss the ring.
I'm not saying that like you don't have to have London there.
Yeah,
that is like the benchmark. Like that is where, you know, that's the hub.
Yeah,
and like you're always gonna have to come down here.
yeah.
But like your brand pushes further by having like that whole section of the UK where you're from behind you.
No, that's what I'm totally with it. Just like it's like that the American thing where like you can be big in your state, you're cool. I don't know if necessarily we have even seen anybody just be big in their one section, because like the Bugs example, you have to come and do that for everything he was doing up there prior. It was working to a certain degree. There was definitely a shift once you come and go at Chip and you come and do the final booth, you come and shoot a disc in Tottenham and North London. Like all the Birmingham MCs, they're cold. Like Stay Fresh, people they were doing their thing. You know, JKs, they were creating a scene there. But when they're now going at the London MCs and they're coming down on radio, you kind of have to come. It's like old school. It's not the same, but like old school traditionally, you have to go to New York, innit? Like, it's that kind of thing where I still don't feel necessarily like someone could just exist in like a little pocket of Wales or a pocket of Scotland, whatever, and do their thing. They still has to reach us first.
You want to get as well.
Yeah, of course.
I hear that. I think like Bugsy, probably the closest thing I would say. I think definitely like obviously the Chip stuff and the Fire in the Booth changed the trajectory. But then there's a part in the book where I'm in Manchester with Bugsy, and then I didn't realize like how big like he
King of the North, man.
Like it was crazy. The closest thing I've seen to that was like when Stormzy was like making his ascent. Like if you see the way people responded when they just see him out on the street, like people were bringing their babies to meet him, they're bringing their mums to meet him.
It's huge in Middle England and up north.
It was insane. But I think I think because the labels are like here, or even like the Spotify's are here, like all of these Amazon Music is here. I think like that's probably the biggest thing. And I think also like the belief. When I've talked to a lot of artists from outside of London, the thing they would always mention is just like the mentality almost, whereas like if you live in London, you can obviously come out of your house and you might know someone who's already doing something.
If you're in West London, you can just put your slippers on and take a walk down to the labels around the corner.
Exactly. Whereas when you'd hear about like places outside of London where it's just like no exposure to like any of that at all. So it's even like thinking that you can. Is
it even possible?
Is it possible? Whereas I think like there's so much inspiration if you're.
But to your point though, Vans, I think if someone does get it right or has that doggedness, that belief where. And then they just service their audience, because like even as big as obviously rap and grime has been up north, bro, they have their own little culture. Like bassline's a thing. It's not a thing in London. Yeah. When you read for them Northerners, and you see them partying to bassline, it's still a thing. Like they ain't really dropped out their thing. They still enjoyed their
not
culture.
my kind of vibe, but you know, shout out to them,
respect your team. Like, big up your Jim Jones. I'm a big up my Jim Jones, innit? Brixton Jim Jones, innit? You lot enjoying that. So I like them because they're still like the funky element. It's party, innit? So it wouldn't shock me as well. Like I think to the point he's making about the guy Luke in Wales. That wouldn't shock me if maybe like the party elements of the rap, because you got to find somewhere to perform or an audience, you know.
Yeah, because I interviewed Triller for the book, and he's obviously like bassline was like a big thing for him in Birmingham, but he was saying like
he came to London and started mashing out the funky space.
Tell that girl 70-50.
I'll rock your world.
E-Tap. Oh my days.
He was saying like
what a time.
They had to change like the hotel name because of the song. Like
serious, that dope.
Really?
Said, like, that the song E-Tap got so big that he would go in all these like northern towns, Leeds, obviously Birmingham, Nottingham, and then after
all the E-Taps in Birmingham got written off.
They're going to the E-Taps, and then like their places getting wrecked, and then eventually like I think like the bosses were like what's going on here? Like why is
this influx?
The board members at E-Tap were perplexed.
They're like, it's cool, like we're making a lot more money, but what's going on?
And I think they then changed their name after to just try and, he said they changed their name after to like kind of get away their brand away from like his song, which was blowing up. But so the bass.
That's hate.
That's Vans, you got
that's blocking man's bread.
If you're like associating my brand with cheap sex, Come on, 1750.
Yeah, it's true. Man was putting out the price.
That's cheap as chips.
Yeah. I mean,
don't you think I ain't gonna buy that round because we're gonna eat up after.
the man them back then didn't have their own yards, didn't it? So
different era, innit? So that's dope though, man. That you got to, because even someone like him, he's still active. I've seen recent Sir Spyro sets, and even that to the point about like certain areas, just focusing on them. They're up there doing their sets. Not saying we don't have that still in London, whatever, but there's a certain part of the culture and like certain things that you kind of do as a rite of passage that in other pockets outside of London are still going on. They've not left it, innit? So no, man, I'm proper happy that this book is here. Where we come from. Where can people get it? Sorry, Vans, go on.
Yeah, like all the good bookshops, Waterstones, obviously Amazon, Foils. A lot of people going to like the independent bookshops as well. A lot of that has been nice to see. A lot of people going to like I think there's a few bookshops in like Peckham, around East that people have been going to as well to support them. So yeah.
Where can we go that gives you the best split on the prof? Just winking. Waterstones?
If you go direct to the publisher is called Faber and Faber.
Faber and
so
Faber.
If you go direct to faberandfaber.com, you can get the book there. That's like a nice, healthy.
Yeah, I see a double F there. Not Fols Forever.
Hey, chill out, man. That's sick, man. I'm happy, man. Was there anything else you wanted to add in regards to why should people go and buy a book? That's probably the thing I'll leave unless fans got anything else. Why should people go and buy this book?
I think, I think there's like, if you want to understand like not just the history of the genres, but also it's like a history of Black Britain in a lot of ways. It goes from like the Windrush, through from the Windrush to like influx of African immigrants coming in the 80s through to present day, and looks at like what are the formation points of like Black British identity and all of these different things, like who are the different groups that go into them and like where have they come from. So it's as much as it's about music, it's about like community and culture as well. And then the way it's written is it's like you just get to learn about the, I guess, incredible life stories that people have had. Like one of the main people I write about in the book is Cadet, and I like interviewed
Rest in peace,
definitely. And it interviewed like his mum, his sister, a lot of his friends, and really got to hear about like how they're keeping his legacy alive, and getting to learn like what his music really like meant to people. So hearing some of those stories was incredible. Being able to put them into like a book and that lives forever was like a beautiful thing. So I think if people want to learn about those kind of things as well, the book is there. Yeah,
no, that's super dope. And like when we were having a conversation off mic, I was saying that like, you know, we get a lot of these stories visually, so it's like nice to see it in like literature, because, you know, like you said, it lives forever, and you can go like, you know, in a little bit more detail, especially when it's written in a book, like, you know, poignant moments that sometimes like documentaries might miss, you know. So we just like came off watching that the Channel U documentary not too long ago, and that was like an amazing timeline, like, you know, history of events of what sort of birthed a generation, and like, you know, really moved music videos to the forefront, like when we didn't have that much budgets. And you've got this book like that, it really captures like everything from the Windrush generation all the way up to, you know, where we see it today. So it's a great book, man. Like everyone should grab a copy if you get a chance. Where we come from, rap, home, and hope in modern Britain.
That's good, because the women are onto us to say all we do is read self-help and that. so put down that 48 laws of power, that rich dad, poor dad. Or, okay, just put it to the side for a second. And
where we come from in stores, man.
A bit of pleasure reading in that, thanks again for coming down. There's a lot going on this week, though. We gotta get into some stuff, man.
Yeah.
AFCON, the most chaotic tournament out there. I'm sorry to say it, but I'm off coding that, but bruh, the things I've seen.
Do you know what? Like in the build up to AFCON, there was like this thing where there wasn't like a registered UK broadcaster confirmed.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think that there was like a week to go,
and there was still nothing.
So all of a sudden, after I saw that and a lot of people jumping onto that, I started seeing Sky Sports like creating documentaries like how African players defined or changed the Premier League, which wasn't a bad documentary, by the way. Like you really got to see like all the African legends that touched the Premier League, like the Carnus, the, you know, the Yvos, or the Okochas, you know, like them man there, like they were Michael Essien's
Yeah,
really putting in work, you know. But yeah, like AFCON is here now. It's just like jokes from like everywhere that you look at it, from the coverage to like, you know, some of the plays, the celebrations, the people in the crowd,
the
like
crowd
the media.
stuff is, there's this dog, this Ghanaian fan. My man is. It's like he's force feeding himself to get through the pain,
Bro.
He's in the trenches, bro.
He was distraught.
I can't lie, man. I thoroughly enjoyed them tears, man.
Yeah.
Ghana out, man. Hold that, man. I think they've got the slimmest. It's like it's so slim. It's like someone's got a win, draw, goal. Like it's over though, isn't it? Like
Yeah, but like the mistakes that they made, like in stoppage time, 2 goals. They were 2-0 up.
But all goalkeepers are crazy, bro. They have that thing. I don't care how high level. All goalkeepers have that little. They're a bit unhinged, bro. Because Donny didn't need to do that. The ball's going out, and he touched it.
That is the bookiest mistake I've seen.
Like that one, we might have to investigate.
Yeah. That one, like, why?
Because if even like 3 months, he suddenly like his mum, him, they've got new houses.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
You need to be near the ball.
Yeah,
like, you knew where it was going.
But Ivory Coast hosting it.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, they crashed out,
bro. We've been flogging Tomucci. What the fuck?
Sending bare memes of like Donny's winding their waist.
I haven't even been that bad, but the man, bro,
they're cooking him. They have to cook him.
Drink those tears, bro.
Yeah, they have to cook him.
Because Nigeria, because we're
start
so
winding
loud,
now.
Yeah. If we go out, and I say if, because some people say when, but if we go out, everyone's going to be onto us. But we didn't go out in the group stages, bro. Like
at your home tournament as well,
bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
reminds me of when Brazil lost 7-1 in the World Cup.
What's the American? They got smoked. 7-1 is crazy.
Crazy.
Nah, that's
in your own backyard. Yeah, all the beautiful Brazilian babes are just like let down in that.
As you got to hold a player, just you got between you got to pick someone for a flogging.
The favelas was rocking that night, boy.
Who do you think will win? No,
Senegal, man, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I know Nigeria playing Cameroon. I was saying before that I'm obviously half Cameroon, half Nigerian. So
how does that work?
Like the family. I don't know. I'm like gonna watch it as a neutral, but it means
neutral.
I'm through to the semis.
We don't watch sports as neutrals.
I'm through to the next round either way. But
you're happy either way.
Yeah,
you're good.
Either way, but I know like obviously just half of my family are not gonna talk to me for the next week.
Confirm that, man.
On who goes through.
Yeah. Congo's in it, Angola's in it. They're playing. Angola's playing right now. Congo's playing tomorrow. Both must-win games, in it.
Yeah.
Like they've been drawing every game. It's time to like secure it.
What do you think of this whole Mo Salah thing? Because he got injured, and they're saying that he's gonna go back to Liverpool for the medics and stuff. You know,
get the best
treatment.
Captain.
What do you mean the best treatment?
Get the best treatment.
Are you trying to say there's a lack of treatment and qualified medical professionals on the continent?
No.
Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're using this platform
saying,
for?
But like, you know, I don't know the conditions of the camp that they're currently in. Yeah. If you go back to the Liverpool training camp, you know those people you work with every day. They know your body inside out. You know, it makes sense.
But you're the captain. You're going... That's nuts, man. You got to stay, man.
Like, if you want me to, like, if there's an opportunity of me speeding up my recovery, then, you know, I'm going to take that and fly back.
Yeah, I'm just being sorry. I'm not overly I understand. I'm not overly mad at it, but it's like, oh yeah, I'll go back and like, you lot manage it like this, and then when it gets to like quarter semis, and I'll pop back up, stat pad, get a pen, a goal, and then you know.
But apparently, like, you know, it's worse than they first thought. So he might even miss the injury might even surpass the tournament. Oh, okay. So
there was one, I can't remember what nationality, but there was one player who opted out of going to the AFCON to stay with their club team. The next game got sent off, and they basically got a ban that would span like if their team went to like the quarters or the semi.
The Leicester player, yeah.
Brother, he might as well have gone to AFCON.
The same with Onana. Like Onana, he's
been dropped
the first game.
But Donny caught the last flight to get there, and they're like,
man caught in the PJ, man caught the G6.
There is an issue with a lot of federations. I know this stuff happened in Nigeria. I'm sure it's like the IU brothers. Like, come on, bro, give it up, man.
They've been getting cooked.
Bro, they're running that conglomerate. I think I don't know if it's the uncle, the pops, someone's high up.
Someone's in that federation,
and they're still letting them man play. But like, I understand that a lot of players from that play in Europe, when they now go home, there's a difference, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in it, like trying to humble you and that. But if you don't travel, I can because if that was over here, England and that, and there's a player that was like, cool, they're gonna stay with their club till the like 11th hour and then come. English media be cooking him. They'll be like, yeah. So I wasn't, even though like he's a United player, I wasn't mad at them. Like, no, you're not gonna play. It's not a given, bro.
Right.
You know. So it's not like Donny's done anything crazy out there anyway. You might as well have stayed.
That's what I was thinking. Like, was it worth it? And I think already where he had has a fractured relationship already with the manager from the World Cup. So as soon as I saw he wasn't coming, I was like, this is just not gonna.
You're not helping yourself.
Not gonna work really.
And you can only move like that if you're the coldest. Like if you've been out there smoking shit, and he hasn't been.
That United, like, you know, aura is maybe he's just getting to him, innit?
Yeah, I think people struggle, man, when they get to, as you're saying, like with goalkeepers being unhinged. I feel like then you're just under the spot, especially like United, where the club is like a bit of a mess.
Yeah,
like you trying to go in there, it's already going to be difficult.
Bro, you got Man United. I just look at Man and like, and we've had some cold players. World Cup winner Pogba. Man United made it look meaty.
Yeah.
Di Maria. I even think back to Di Maria days.
Yeah. He didn't know he was coming United. He heard Manchester. it was like when Robinho went Manchester City. He thought he was coming United.
Yeah. That's when United still had like, you know, that
a little
weight.
bit of juice. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, now he's in jail.
We can move on from that one. Innit? Still, speaking of mess though, have you not seen the Kyle Walker stuff?
Yeah.
You look at me like, what?
What did he do this time?
He did it again, innit?
Okay.
Man double back. So he's got a little sighting, pregnant, and I think allegedly he's gone back there and he's double back.
Wow.
But whilst, like,
I mean, he's a treble winner.
But that's like, you're probably thinking, why am I bringing this up? It's not even necessarily, I know it's not even necessarily about the cheating. It's more about like, how well do you reckon you could cope under pressure? Because like, he's been playing amazing. Whilst it's all been going on.
Do you know what? That is a good point.
Yeah.
He didn't let none of that distract him. And it was during the treble season. It can't just be.
No, it's not. It's not. We find out now, but it's not. This is like
this is a long running situation.
News. It's been going on. Yeah.
Man showing up to work and performing at a high level every week, like nothing is going on in his life.
He did have the one game where he got, I think, Newcastle,
deceit.
where he got beaten by like the same move twice. But outside of that,
that's when the women found out.
Oh, that's when it was going to come out in the press. Oh yeah, okay, cool. So behind the scenes, he was managing it. When it was going to hit the press, then
it hit the fan, and then it was like, whoa, like I'm making mistakes today.
I think part of it's Pep. I feel like they're shook with Pep still. I feel like he's not.
You think so?
He's
ruthless.
Managers where you can turn up and they'll like put their arm around you. You can tell them whatever. They say that it's like father figure. I don't think Pep is like that. I feel like whatever business you've got going on, he's like, I don't think he wants to know. I think he just wants football.
You need to be normal for Pep. I don't know if you lot saw that clip where he was talking about different ethnicities and like black, brown, normal. Hey, Pep ain't beating them allegations, you know.
He's not beating them allegations.
I've got no players missing for him, of course not. So I think the allegations.
He's going brazy now. Like he's defeated the Yaya Toure curse, isn't it? They said he will never win the Champions League.
Yaya had him on the ropes for a little minute.
He did have him on the ropes.
The judge ran out.
Yeah,
he had to re-up. He didn't re-up on the judge.
And this is why Ivory Coast crashed out.
Bro, I see Drogba in the stands looking perplexed. With the RM on though. It was you.
Listen, Drogba at the start of the tournament, he was walking with bass, with vim. But you know, like all of them, like all of the greats, at some stage during AFCON, they've struggled because like when they come to Europe, they're usually faster and stronger than everyone else. They're playing their own attributes, innit? Like it's not gonna be as easy as you think it is.
I think it's as well. It's just the tournament. It's gonna sound mad. It's just not real. It's real, but it's just because it's like
Salah can't do those little
jinky
like run-ins. Like they're just gonna crash it. They're just gonna. Do you know what I mean?
I know, sorry, go on.
And like they're just shooting from like 50 yards out,
crossing from mad angles and that.
Bro, I saw like a Cape Verde match here, and the Donny scored from 45 yards out.
Oh, was it was it Bebe?
Yeah.
But man was smoking them as well.
Bro, first he had a free kick from 60 yards out. He went for it.
Yeah.
And it was on target. I think it hit the bar.
Yeah. But the one he scored, the keeper, come on, man.
Yeah, I was like, come on, dog.
Come on. Like, let's make it convincing or something. Like, let's believe the lie in that. So that's why, because even back in the day, I've seen Drogba struggle. Yaya Toure's gone there and looked like, it's dare to say average. It's not. It's that's why I do like it, because there's no airs and graces. Like if you're good on the day, you're good on the day.
In the Premier League, Yaya Toure is an animal.
Yeah,
you go back to Africa, there's about 60 of them.
Also, there's an incentive in it because it's like you're this guy over here. If I measure myself against you and I play good against you, also have a good tournament. Because you see it a lot of time, like the Euros, the World Cup. People have good tournaments. It doesn't always translate. Like James Rodriguez, my man had a great tournament. It just didn't happen, innit? You know, so it's been interesting to watching that. I don't know if you see online. There was, I don't know who said it first, but there was, you know, everyone thinks they're a baller, innit? And there's this debate on like if you was in a Prem, like if you got the call tomorrow to play, like, how many goals do you reckon you could score?
What, in a game or like for the rest of the season?
For the rest of the season. I think the benchmark be like 6 goals. Obviously, I want to get crazy in that, like not double figures, but like, do you reckon tomorrow?
I wouldn't be fit enough.
You get you up to speed.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but like
A couple weeks.
Yeah, and I've played like on a Premier League pitch before,
That's big.
And like, honest to God, I was like, this is overwhelming. But obviously, like, as you grow into games, your confidence builds. Like, you got to believe in your ability, innit? Like, I mean,
You got to go and
cool
train with
four,
like the 16s quickly and that.
cool four, maybe
To make yourself feel better like that. 4?
3 or 4, yeah.
What do you reckon?
I'm playing right back, man.
Don't do that.
I'll play right back. I'll go and slot in at right back, and then maybe get the odd 1 or 2. But
I said the odd 1 or 2.
I'm staying right back.
It's so funny football covers, yeah, because the man who actually get and you play like man that play ball professionally, the people that you think are so crap on TV, when you play with them professionally,
No,
you're like, okay, I can see why you get paid to play football.
Yeah, it's a different, like, and with modern football as well, so like it's very structured. Like, you know, like you'll get lost.
Yeah, 2
in
times
how-
you're just getting popped.
You're getting lost, like, and these man that train every single day, they're quick as shit. Like, it might look slow, like when you're watching the games on TV, but the game moves very quickly. Like, you won't even get a sniff. Like, and if they see that you're not like good on a ball,
you're getting missed. You're getting missed.
Yeah.
I've been there. You go goals and that when the man them come and train, they want to keep sharp before like pre-season, and you have that baggy touch.
I'm watching the young DM at United.
Oh,
Was it mine?
Kobe Mania.
Yeah. Bro. Like, I'm even hearing that like he's looking to go on loan again. Like,
Oh, is it?
there was talks, but I don't know how serious that is. That would be like stupid if like he's basically first team now. Like,
Yeah, we need
really
some
good player. Really,
But the problem is obviously United have things at the minute. It's
he's
like
like 18.
yeah, he's young. You don't want to then
Really
put
good player.
the responsibility of the midfield on this such a young player and then expose man. He had the mistake and he's had good games, but like at that age, especially when like you know like when you play with meaty players, yeah, you start looking shit as well. Or when things are not going well as a team, no matter how good you are for whatever reason, and like where you're playing, not like you're playing striker or like an attacking position. To a certain degree, you can't really influence the game like that.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't really good. Ronaldo's their man. For him himself personally, still scored his goals. As a DM, you're not really influencing the change in the game like that. If you've got a certain man around you, it's not happening here. So I wouldn't want to see him going on. I think he should stay. But at the same time, it's hard for young players because you want them to play as much football as possible.
I don't know how true that
stay
was,
sharp.
but I'd raise an eyebrow immediately when I saw it.
I hope it's not true. He needs to stay. Like, you've already had a sniff for the first team, played some games. As a young player like that, you're gonna get injured. You're gonna get knocked.
And he looks like the most senior on the ball sometimes. I'm like, he's schooling the other man them.
Because McTominay hides. Like, you see certain players, they don't want to receive the ball.
Yeah.
So, but no, man. I reckon a young 3 goals. I'm a right back as well. So just play me like right and forward in that.
It's difficult, man.
No, you get out of there and impossible. You know. So outside of that though, I don't know if you saw the Meek Mill, the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
I think I've even got it. I don't think it was as bad as everyone reacted to. Yeah,
It's just because it's him, I think.
but I think it reads like a rap. That's what it is. So it says, do a lot of people play my music in South Africa? I remember having on Big Show there a few years back. How do y'all listen to our music in South Africa? Question mark. On what platform or in Nigeria? And some of the responses, yeah. This is when the internet is undefeated, yeah. I'm just going to find it for you. So you can just laugh, yeah. Because a lot of us took it literal, like, all right, cool.
I think it's the wording. Like, you know, some people were able to identify what he actually meant pretty easy on, like early on. But like you said, because it's him, like you know, people are gonna. He's known to tweet some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time. So it's like, bro, like, say, like, he could have worded it differently. That's my take.
I'll give you some responses, yeah. We send birds to America to memorize songs, then have them sing it to us when we gather at the village square. We contribute money to one virgin male and send to America for 5 years. He comes back and teaches the whole community. Well, it depends on the season. In summer, we hear it through the trunk of an elephant. In spring, the giraffes catch signal and play it out loud. You get me? Normally we use rocks, but on a good day, we use trees, or we get one person to sing for the whole village. Bro, it's...
Nah, they're crazy. Like, what did they say? I think Audio Mac is the highest streaming
so he isn't necessarily wrong.
platform in Nigeria, I think it is.
Audio Mac, yeah.
Yeah.
So he isn't necessarily wrong, and I think he had a follow-up to it where he's basically just trying to figure out, because a lot of people, as they get longer in the game, they start realizing where they've been done wrong with their contracts. Right, if I don't have a contract that I've signed for my music to be basically monetized in a certain territory, and it is being, someone's eating off me without my consent. I think that's what he was kind of leaning to. Right, so he wants to find out his business was, because he went Ghana, he had a good time. He was he was out in the streets riding the bikes and stuff. So he got received well. I could see. I would like to see him go out and go on tour. I'd like to see more American acts go on tour, the continent and that. So I'm not mad at it. Find out information, but it's just funny because it's Meek. It's like, on one hand, you should know this, but at the same time, is there anything such thing as like a bad question? If you genuinely don't know, but it's just like you're coming to us as the people. Surely you should have the resources around you to find out.
It's like, you know, so many contexts to find out. But yeah, I think it is because it's him, man. I feel like he's one of them rappers where like social media is just like taking away like the aura.
The mystique's gone, bro.
Yeah, the mystique is fully gone. So I think that's like why people. I remember the videos of when him like falling down the stairs, like all of these different.
But he posted that because he knew, because if he got, because that wasn't too long after the whole Drake stuff. So it's like, you know, let me get in front of the joke early doors.
Okay,
Then I don't know, add the chips by the pool. I didn't think that was that bad, but that just became something funny.
But like, why is your chips like in the water and you're taking a picture of it? I don't understand. I'm posting it.
Yeah. And then you've got the bunny hops. I think he was with one of the billionaires playing tennis. He lost the bet. They had him bunny hopping. There's just loads of like funny Meek moments where it's like I said, it's just, we know you as this street gangster rapper to a degree, but like everyone's human, innit? So, but once the internet gets or figures out that you could become the butt of the joke, it don't stop, innit?
Yeah, it's relentless like that.
Yeah, because remember when Ross and Meek dropped their project not too long ago?
Yes.
Back in November, they dropped it independently. So I think that's what he's trying to tap into now. Like, you know, because he's been pretty, like, with all the bullshit that he tweets, he's also been quite transparent with, like, some of the contractual mistakes that he may have made. Up until now, he was, like, sharing that he's only made a certain amount off the Going Bad song with Drake.
And they made like 60+ mil for the label and stuff. Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think like he's trying to go direct to consumer in a way, but like his relationship with the consumer on social media is a little bit tampered a bit. So I guess like in certain circumstances, if you look at it that way, like he means well, but he just doesn't know how to convey himself.
Yeah, I'd say I get that, and I think especially with him like trying to go to South Africa, Nigeria, I think kind of what we're talking about with the other regions outside the UK, I think sometimes like if you're not from them places, like understanding the infrastructure there is difficult. And I think now if he's like independent and doesn't have like a label that can just plug him in there immediately, I think that's where I imagine independent artists run into difficulty.
You should have just shouted Davido, innit? Quickly.
Yeah, no, 100%.
He's
like,
one of the artists that a lot of American artists tap in with when they land, whether it's for the cars, the access to nightlife. Sorry, just being looked after, like rolling out the red carpet, like same way like how a lot of acts when they come here they tap him with gigs, because when he's over there he gets dealt with a certain way.
The like, hospitality.
You know, we're colleagues essentially, innit? Look after me when I'm on your soil and vice versa. So, hey man, shout out to him. I don't know. I feel like that project kind of came and went.
I still go back to it. There's a few joints on there that go for me. Like I'm probably not gonna listen to it from start to finish, but like when, you know, sometimes you get an urge like to listen to a song, like, and when I go to the album, there's a few songs on there that I'm like, this is hard.
Yeah, he's got a couple. Star Island. What was the Kobe one? That was like, it was the lead single.
Shaq and Kobe.
Shaq and Kobe, sorry.
Yeah.
There was a few little pieces on there and stuff. I wasn't mad at it, so. But whilst I don't know how long got left, but I don't know if you guys saw, the internet's been a bit upset with Young Philly.
Oh, okay.
Over the whole Fortnite game.
Yeah.
So obviously Young Philly and Els the Witch, they're streamers, YouTubers, etc. And Fortnite have basically, like the army's basically trying to do an ad through Fortnite, basically.
Right.
It feels like a recruitment drive. Right. Fortnite, in my opinion, you can double check, is probably got quite a young audience.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And now the army definitely do ads because they do it on TV. I remember growing up watching like Lads Army and that, where they take like normal people from society and that, like maybe on the rough side of the tracks and go over there and you hopefully get some discipline. So they've been doing advertising for a long time, but this one feels very, I think it's timing more than anything. It feels very weird with everything that's going on socially, like the conflict genocide in Palestine, Gaza and that. So
it's just how they're recruiting nowadays. They've tapped into certain markets where they're like, the television, like, you know, people watch TV, but like not in the same frequency as before. Like, how am I gonna tap into younger people?
Yeah, new age media, innit?
Yeah. You know, through games is nuts.
Yeah, that is wild, considering like how long people spend on games. And I think also now where I feel like, as you say, like socially it's a weird time. And I think also people like more aware of like Britain's role in like the world in general, I think. Whereas I feel like maybe 20 years ago, I feel like you'd have people like willingly join the army because they're doing like a good thing. Whereas now I think it's like so transparent that to get people to join the army, I feel like it
wouldn't shock me if recruitment's at an all-time low.
Yeah,
I wouldn't shock. I ain't checked, but it wouldn't shock me. What do you guys think? So the reason why I feel like he was getting pushed back is the things you mentioned. Obviously, he's got the podcast, him and Chunks, and maybe just under a month ago, a few weeks back, they had where they spoke about Palestine, or wearing the Free Palestine.
It's still Free Palestine, by the way.
Free Palestine hoodie. Sorry. Do you think it's a wrong move to take that bag?
100%.
Can you articulate
like
why?
It's just, you know, like the UK government are, you know, aiding. They, you know, they didn't want to call for a ceasefire and things like that. Like, so it ties into that, and you know, you just want to, like, you can't scream free Palestine when, like, you know, you're promoting on behalf of, like, you know, people that are oppressing them. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, just say that it was for the bag, innit?
Yeah. Do you know this as well? I'm trying to give leeway. It wouldn't shock me at the same time if my man's not even aware of stuff like that. Now, I could be wrong, because you know, sometimes with like celebs and stuff or people of interest, there is that whole there's an angle you can use to be like, I'm a little bit I don't want to be, but I'm maybe a little bit slow, or I don't know nothing. Nah. So it's always laughing jokes with me, innit? So
I think like when you are of a certain stature and you put out a political statement, like, which is seen as a political statement, you being in support of something, especially like that, where this is the first time we're witnessing like a mass genocide amongst social media, like direct to the source. You know, people that are on the ground are filming the gruesome, gory details. There's enough information out there just from that alone for you to come on and do that, and then take this and promote that. Yeah. Whilst all this is happening, like, you know, so for me, like, that excuse is a cop out.
Is it a bit of an L for us though, at times when we're looking to the wrong people to move a certain way? Because it's essentially, what do you know my man for? Being funny, being part of a duo, presenting, showcasing your personality, and we like you because we want to see the man them do well, and like you've been supported on your come up, innit? But what about you screams? I don't know if I hope I'm not like, I'm speaking like activist or politically leaning. you know.
And the thing is that like you don't necessarily have to be the activist. It's just that you've come on and you know you've shown support of like so. Which is it?
Oh, is
it's
it
the contradiction.
it's pick a side basically.
Like
okay.
it's do you know what I'm saying? Like, and the public are gonna hold you accountable for it because you are everywhere. Like you're a public figure. Everyone you know watches your content in some way, shape, or form. Do you know what I'm saying? Like those numbers aren't fake. Like the Foot Asylum audience. Like you know they did. What award show did they do? I
think it was
it the MOBAs?
I think it was the MOBAs. They presented together.
Yeah, like you know they're doing like adverts for Barclays. Like they're everywhere. These guys. So of course people are gonna have something to say about it. Like you're gonna get called out. Full stop.
Yeah, I think with these things, it's like where's the line? Where does it start? Where does it stop? Because a lot of us, you throw myself in there, where you comment on certain things and how people are moving. But in your day-to-day life, what we're doing, because like for some people, if you ain't, let's say, boycotting a McDonald's, for example, you're not standing on business. It's like, you know, where's your phone from? It's like you get into this kind of like finger pointing in, you know, oh, you're not doing enough. You're critiquing me. You're not doing this. What are you doing? That's where sometimes I don't like where the conversation goes. I get it though, because if you're gonna hold someone accountable, I think some of it. Go on.
I think this is just too direct.
Yeah,
like,
it's too in our face, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's just too like it's just like wait, hold on, what?
Yeah, I hear that because I guess it's like almost like an endorsement in a way. If you're willingly attaching your name and your brand to a certain institution, it's kind of like an endorsement.
Some people just see the money, bro. They don't even see attachment.
Yeah,
and that's maybe another conversation to have about like where you put your likeness to and stuff, and how cheap or expensive that is. Because like the money might have been good, but on the back end, like listen, this conversation we're having now could be out in the cycle in a couple of days, isn't it? And no one gives a toss. Like a lot of things, isn't it?
100%.
It's you know.
But
is the juice worth the squeeze? Is how I look at certain some of these
It could
things.
be seen as a direct endorsement to you know the army. Like you're recruiting, like number one, you're recruiting. Some could say like, yes, we are pro army. We're going to join the army. We've always wanted to join the army, but then there's also that young vulnerable kid that doesn't know what they want to do. Like so they just join the army like under false pretenses, and then you know. They're seeing some real shit that's going on that they're not ready for, and then you know they spit them back out into society and expect normality.
Well, you know what it is? It's old men for council, young men for war, and a lot of young men further down like the class ladder have always been like even though like we're having this conversation now, there are a lot of people like I said like Middle England, other parts of the country and that.
But via Fortnite, bro, targeting kids.
That have a good relationship with the army, you know, like our lads, you know, if it wasn't for what they did in the Second World War, we might be under different rules. So we're having this conversation here, we might have a perspective as people from the diaspora and that, and colonization and certain things, but there are other people in the country that don't view it this way.
I hear you.
And who also maybe a larger part of his audience, is it us now or them? Like we obviously probably helped my man grow, but at this point where you're now like quite mainstream, it's not just us that are watching him.
Yeah.
100%.
So I'd want to see what it looks like on the other side of things if he's getting pushback like that.
I do get that because I grew up in Bromley, so that's like I know a lot of people from our school went to the army, like
cadets, all that stuff.
And a lot of I know there was like 3 or 4 people in my school who ended up dying in like Afghanistan and stuff like after that. But you do see like there is you see that element of society who are like they're like very pro. Whatever, like
very proud.
So I feel like, and I know a lot of those kind of kids will be tuned into like Chunks, Philly, and those kind of platforms. So I think there is that element of maybe we don't always see like the wider.
They're not going to see anything wrong with it. They're not because they're pro Britannia, they're pro army. They're not going to see the other side. Like they're even probably going to give him pushback for wearing the Free Palestine top.
Possibly.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's just the other side that I'm not on, so I can't even speak for them, man. You lot can do your thing over there, innit?
I don't have too much smoke for the individuals. Anyone that's willing to put their life on the line for Queen and country and countrymen, I don't know. It's more the institution and the powers. The people that will never go to the front lines. I don't necessarily have much smoke and issues because like some people it is like if you go and join the army, there are certain maybe perks you get in regards to education. Some people it's almost like, what else am I going to do? I don't really have too much smoke for those people, you know. And I just hope that they able to cut through, not have too much mad injuries or lose their life, and able to join society. So because it's not going to stop, you know. So
Philly's going to tell you that he don't even have time for his friends and family.
Hey, chill out, I want to see if they address it on the net because they've got their own podcast now. Him and Chunk, because they've done really well in terms of helping like build a platform like Foot Asylum, Pro. Right? They've done a lot on other people's channels, and I've seen more of a concerted effort. Like I think since the turn of the year, or maybe even back in the last year,
it's a no-brainer that they do the podcast together.
They should do it.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously,
I think I see Idris Elba on there lately. He's doing what is it? The anti-knife crime campaign.
Yeah. I saw a little clip of that as well. So obviously, you guys are congesting the lane and our podcasters, but I get it, innit?
Taking all the sponsorships.
Yeah. They're taking all the money. Yeah, it kind of is what it is, man. It's part of the course. People that big and that, it's like I said, no brainer. Go on your own independent thing because in the long run, there's something that you have, you own, you kind of control. Because when it's all said and done, there'll always be new talent in it.
I think that's the thing. And I think like brands are always going to continue to move towards new talent. So especially you have something that you've built that people recognize you for, and also just like get to understand you as a person as well.
Yeah.
And I think it was seeing them do obviously the Foot Asylum stuff and all of that stuff was great, but I think you definitely got to leverage it at some point to speak directly for yourself.
Yeah. Was there anything else out there this week? I know there's been a lot going on because we had a little break across like Christmas and early part of the year. So last week was our first week back. So I feel like, is there anything that's been left on the cutting room floor that we've not touched on? And that?
From early jam.
Yeah, it was a chaotic start to the year. I can't lie. I think there was a lot of things that was like, obviously, I think the timeline went insane over Jada Wader being down here.
We need Chrissy for that, man. That's for the girls.
Yeah, like, and I didn't get like the discourse, to be fair, but I just know that like people started to equate it to over here and the influencer culture. Do we have a version over here? And
we're a lot more conservative.
Like,
it's different.
Inherently haters. Like
there's that as well.
Full of hate.
Yeah, there's that as well. I just feel like America's is bigger. We've always looked them for celeb culture and stuff. Looked them for shows, music, at certain points, fashion. So why wouldn't it also happen when we start doing like the influencer thing? She ain't just someone's baby mum. She was someone before that, business and stuff. Like her stories, I think her pops went overseas to go and like help her hair business and stuff. So like she is a boss in her own rights, and if you want to give her that. So and if the girls are excited and want to go and see her in the club, bro, that's to the women's, bro. Like, what's that clip of 50 Cent? It's for the bitches. It's only for us, bro. Let them cook, let them enjoy, man.
Let them cook and let them enjoy.
I'll never overly understand that, but just let them do their thing, man.
I saw the tweet though where I think it was Mimi, the music blogger, was comparing it to
Ronaldinho.
Oh no, she was trolling though.
The big R10, you know.
Did you not see man on Paris Fashion Week?
Yeah.
Man was strolling, strutting.
Bro, the picture with the cigar in that.
He was living life, bro.
I was
he's got the Michael Jordan eyes. Ronaldinho's been enjoying, bro. He's been enjoying life.
He's been enjoying
one long party. Yeah, you cannot compare Jada Wader to Ronaldinho because Ronaldinho was in. Oh yeah, he was in the engine. What that was? That was on Oakham Road. That was like behind the lid on the Audi. There's like a little cage there. He was in the ends.
And and the guy was screaming.
No, you got to let him off. You got to let him off.
If Dave can scream, forget an Audemars. Let the man scream when Ronaldinho touches the ends.
You buy me a Rolex tomorrow, I'll scream. I'll scream, bro. If you shout to my birthday with the Rollie, bro, I might faint.
Friends for life.
Yeah, we're locked in now. You can't go anywhere.
Locked in. You can't go anywhere.
I don't care how many times you fight.
Red love heart emojis now.
Oh yeah, all the time, bro. I'm making my next to kin. You buy me a Rollie, hey,
mate.
It's different now, isn't it?
But do you know what I think about sometimes? Like when you get to that level, like do you start like judging? Like you could have, because I saw Conor McGregor gifting like his chef at one of his restaurants a Rolex, and everyone in the comments was like, yeah, but that's the cheapest model. But so do you judge like the one that's got it? Like
you're not meant to, but you don't remember when Kendrick got his sister a car, and I think it was like it was like an electric vehicle, it was like a Prius. But apparently it's what she wanted, innit? Because you start looking at it, okay, you think, oh, he's a multi-millionaire, so it must be like a Maybach with the bulletproof doors and
I don't even have that myself. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Right,
and just because I've got it doesn't mean And also as well, now when I'm gifting the chef this, my Christmas list and my family's like, so I can't go and get him like the top of the range.
Yeah, it's true.
And also, I'm walking around with my pieces of Conor McGregor with everything that comes with lifestyle security. You're walking around, you can't be walking around the same much I have.
It's true.
And you're just not being rude, but you're a chef. If you're a chef to Conor McGregor, I like to think you're doing well business wise, isn't it? But you don't have maybe the access to protection that I do. I can't put that on your wrist.
Yeah, I hear that.
But you know what? Like a lot of them, man, like they walk around with these on their wrist on a day to day.
Bro, no, they walk around with a watch, but it's not it's the dummy watch.
Yeah, I guess.
I got brothers that went like they went to East Asia. They got the dummy.
Oh
thing,
yeah, no,
and they come
100%.
because London's peak, bro.
Hey,
Yeah, I think especially the past few years, especially post COVID as well. I feel like London.
nowadays it's crazy.
Did you guys not see the clip
Like
of
Gotham.
so in Soho apparently it's big out there, like people be lurking and following people. So there's an undercover operation. So a police officer pretended to be drunk, just stumbling around the streets, knowing that the piranhas are circling and that.
The Jack Boys.
Yeah, the Brixton Jack Boys. They travel from Brixton down to Soho. So yeah, it happened. They tried to rob him for the watch, and then all these other people that you think are just like civilians outside these pubs and that drinking in the street. Nah, they were police officers. They come over, they taser, they quickly nick everybody, and they've locked up like a big watch stealing gang in it. So.
Wow, yeah, that's mad. Because you hear stuff like people putting the trackers under the cars.
Oh yeah, air tags are real and that. People ain't playing games.
I'll be getting Fols like the Daytona. And he's like, I wanted the day.
No. See me, I'm very grateful. Wherever you get me, I'll accept it. But you get me now, I'm taking to the bank straight away.
I wanted to protect.
Yeah, I'm putting it somewhere safe. Do you have that? Like, obviously, that's like the other half on what they're dealing with. I'm not saying it's right and that, but do you personally yourself have you felt like a shift when you're outside where you feel like yourself, like London is more dangerous, where you've got your wits about you, you're a bit more wary when you're outside?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to be, man. Like, there's so many things that, like, obviously, scaremongering can be a tactic, because sometimes, like, I'll go through long periods, like, where nothing happens. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, not to
you saying you got a clean run.
Not to say like or put any bad luck on me. I'm just saying like on your day to day, sometimes you just don't see the madness around you.
Yeah.
Until you go to somewhere where you shouldn't be, and then you'll see a madness. But then when you go online, you're seeing a madness literally every time you scroll. Like there's these crime pages that there's clips of like youths with these zombie knives, like they're literally having sword fights, and you're like flipping out.
But that's what I'm asking, because is it more of you're seeing it's just like things are getting reported more and more, and you're seeing them online, but like a lot of us day to day, I'd like to think we're just cutting through. I'd like to think.
Yeah,
I mean,
so. But I think
it all depends on the routes that you take as well. Like
So you say no back roads.
I'm just going to work, bro. That's what I'm doing. Going into work, going home, staying home. Even on nights out, like you move different now as you previously did. Like maybe you used to hang around a lot more, like after, like more time. I'm gone before the night's done. So the chances of something popping off, I'm not around.
I move you.
I think I don't know. I've noticed some difference though. Like since COVID, I think I first started noticing it with like the homelessness in the central and stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like that just spiked.
That definitely spiked.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
You're just seeing people like even like if you walk along Oxford Street, you're just seeing like tents like along some of the side roads and stuff like that. It's been crazy.
It's been like I've never seen it like this. It's actually crazy. Like even when you go like on big major roads in the middle, there's tents. There's more like back in the day, you used to see people like offering to wash your screen and stuff like, but they went away for a while and now they are back in full force, or they're not even offering to wipe it. Yeah. They're just like,
no, let's cut to the chase.
Let's cut to the chase. Like,
I'm hungry, man.
I was on the tube last week, and now you're seeing obviously
the tube.
The tube. This guy, he was like going to people asking for money, like going between the tube doors, asking for money, and then he got to like this lady gave him like £1, and he was like, "It's not enough. Like it's not enough."
Did you say that?
Yeah. He was like, "I need £2 more," and then like
I'd have taken my £1 back.
Yeah, and he was saying it to everyone, like going, and I was like, I've never seen London like that before. So I was like,
nah.
Yeah, he was.
And then it's bad as well because
it's not enough.
Because he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
But we are all struggling. Sometimes I'm looking at them like, if you know,
do you want to swap?
Like, bro, that's where we're at. Like on the tube, you're starting to see it a lot more than you've ever seen it.
Yeah.
Like almost every other time I'm on the tube, one of them is on the tube with, the script that they read, like
don't knock
such
them,
and
man.
such. I'm not knocking it. You have to pull out heartstrings at this point. Like it's almost as if like they rehearse what they need to say. Like my name is this. I'm 20 something years old. I need such and such like to stay overnight at a hostel.
Yeah.
And a bit of food. That's what you're seeing a lot more, like, because I know that people like are just trying to go about their day. They're stressed enough as it is, and they still have that like stigma over homeless people that like you give them money, they're gonna squander it on like things that's bad for them. But
I'm sleeping on the streets.
bro,
I'm
like,
getting high. Are you not
it's
crazy?
just easy. It's listen, man. It's easy.
What do you not think this is?
It's so easy to fall into like the poverty line and being homeless. Like it's a serious thing, and there's a lot of people that can't cope.
One paycheck away, boy, because a lot of people don't have savings. So
Bruh.
you don't want to be in that position, innit? God forbid, innit? So like I get it. Like I see both sides in it. Like charity begins at home, innit? This pound can definitely help my family more than yours because they're my family, innit? But at the same time, we can't just ignore our fellow man, innit? So
London's gonna become like the kitchen.
hopefully not. Hopefully not. You watched it fully?
I have, yeah. I enjoyed it. I can't lie.
Yeah.
I thought like a lot of the criticism around it was just like I think a lot of people went in there with harsh eyes.
London eyes, innit?
I think it was pretty like clear, like once the film was over, what it was about for me. Like, and just like, when like you're about to select it on Netflix and you get the little synopsis, like, okay, I'm kind of like, it's giving me like, the first point or the head start of like what the basis of the movie is and the time period that it's set in. And then it cuts into, Kano's role, who I've seen a lot of people saying, this is just another Sully, but just less violent. But for me, that's a style that they know that it can work for this type of movie. So I wasn't even mad at it, like, because if you're going to get anyone that can convey this type of role and this character and the environment that they're in, it's him. So, and despite the fact that we see a lot of similarities with Sully in Top Boy than that we do, what's his name in the kitchen? Izzy, yeah. He still pulls off an amazing job.
No, he does a good job.
He's a good actor.
Yeah. He's consistent at shouting at the Young Bucks.
Hey, man.
That's what he's consistent at. So.
He didn't really have to shout too tough, like, but we need to, I think there's like wider context to his character that we don't know of, like why he was so against
Benji
what
hanging out.
what the youths were doing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, how do you know Benji's mom? What's the real story?
Yeah, like what's the real story and that? And I think that, maybe they're leaving things open to interpretation. They're not necessarily spoon feeding you, with everything. And, it could leave room for a sequel.
Right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I wasn't mad at it, man. Like, I really enjoyed Ian Wright's role in this film. I think he done an amazing job. And you know what? It kind of like, if you grew up like on a council estate, like you would kind of like get it a little bit better, I guess. Like maybe you'll see it from that type of lens, even though it's based in the future. Like, but
it's still very current.
It's still very current.
It wasn't even as futuristic as I thought it was going to be from how they presented from the trailer and like.
I want to be chatting to my mirror. I can't lie.
You want to be talking to a mirror?
Yeah, like just
smart mirror.
You're just reading like all the notifications, like like it's part of your day. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I think, like how it is, and like very much based on youth culture as well, community, how they all looked out for each other, because like where London is going, or where it was set to be going in the movie, there was only like a few more places in London like the kitchen that they were trying to get rid of. Like I think Kano or Izzy early in the movie, he was like, they're gonna come, and they're coming.
basically saying like, no, that's our home. So you see that contrast of like, you know, no matter how bad the area is, like we have a certain affinity for if you grew up in Aylesbury Estate or North Peckham Estate, or you grew up in Brixton and Mitesfield, if you grew up in Tottenham and Broadwater Farm. Like there's definitely bad things about the area, but when like they want to make the area a bit paler and a bit more palatable, suddenly it's greener, safer. But you miss the kind of, it's like I see people laughing and joking about like how much Peckham's changed and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like how the high streets change. You know, for some people it's changed for the better. We want our areas to be safer, of course. But like just seeing like certain people jogging at 4 o'clock and that. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I saw when they were playing cricket. Did you see when people were playing cricket on Peckham High Street?
I didn't see that,
Like,
no.
It was like 2 a.m. or something. Like people were just there, just playing cricket together after like some kind of club had finished.
Fair
But,
play.
yeah, I don't think. Yeah, the Peckham I knew of like 10, 15 years ago, you weren't seeing cricket.
You've seen a lot of stuff on the back roads, but not cricket.
Yeah.
But no, I'm with you, Vans. I enjoyed it. I do want, like, I think the early point you made about people maybe not understanding what it's about. If you don't understand what it's about, for me, then you didn't watch it. Because I think a lot of us, our problem is our attention span.
Yeah.
Sitting on our phones whilst you're watching stuff, or trying to live tweet whilst you're watching stuff.
Yeah.
I can be guilty of it as well. So
100%.
I'm not outside of that. But if you watch the kitchen and you don't know what it's about, then you didn't watch it. Because it's very clear from the trailer, of just reading, it's clear what it is. My only gripe was I felt that it took long to like kind of start in terms of like nothing's really happening. You know what this is about? I even knew straight away earlier on. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, no, that's your son, bro. Like, why are you drawing this thing out? That's your youth, bro. Stop acting like that's your kid.
And do you know what? Yeah, if I'm gonna criticize like anyone's acting skills, well, actually, I'm not even gonna criticize the acting skills, but I just didn't like that scene where they were just staring at each other. Like, say something, bro. Like, you've both just realized something major. Like, or you've gone on with your friends and done the things that he told you not to do. So he's left, because in the beginning, he was already like, you know what? When they come, I'm going, and I'm not taking anyone with me, kind of thing.
Yeah, he was on getting the one bed.
Like, yeah, he was on getting that one bed.
Kano's their man that they shot the council. Let me get a bed seat. I ain't got no use. I ain't got no dependents.
So he kicked and he came back, and they're just staring at each other for like 5 minutes. Like, that's a long time to be staring at each other for. Like,
yeah.
And then I'm just there in my bed, like, just watching the movie, like, okay, like, say something, kind of thing. But other than that, like, I thought, you know, the other additions to the role, to the movie.
Who's the guy from Top Boy?
Oh, is it Hope?
Hope. Yeah. It was nice to see him like have a slightly different character and more lines and
like
stuff.
and a more like it was an important role that he had, because he had the relationship with the little man.
Robin Hood, innit?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and like, you know, the small other additions like Back Row G and, you know, Cristal and Lord Kitchener, Ian Wright.
Yeah, he smoked his role.
He smoked his role.
He's a broadcaster. That's just like light work for him.
Yeah.
And like, he was just like essentially being like the Ian Wright that you see like in his Insta stories when he's driving to work and stuff. Like, he's just mad flamboyant. He's always like singing.
Drip is different.
Like, the drip is different. Like, and
I don't think he had wardrobe. I think that was just Ian Wright. He wrote
it kind of reminded me like of that Spike Lee movie where that guy was like that radio host. He was kind of like, you know, the voice of the community kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was very much for, like, they can't, you know, get rid of us kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? That was like the recurring theme. Like, he was the guy, the pillar of the community. And then, you know, things happen in the movie. But, yeah, it wasn't a bad watch for me, man. Like, I just think that people are just being overly harsh for no reason.
Do you think it's too harsh?
Yeah, I mean,
obviously this is Daniel Kaluuya. It's his debut as director.
Like, what are we expecting here? Like, is my thing.
I don't know. I'd maybe want to explore that more with some people. I think it's just like the knee-jerk reaction. I think with some things, maybe when you watch it, because I've watched it.
I just don't
twice
think it's
now.
as bad.
No,
as people.
you're never as bad as you are. You're never as good as say you are.
Yeah.
Social media, we work in extremes, innit?
Yeah.
Like, people came out and said it's the best thing since sliced bread, and I did see that. I'll be honest.
I thought it was a good effort.
I'll be honest. I felt like I saw some people over egging it because of their proximity to the film.
Okay.
So read between the lines.
Of course,
an invite.
Of course.
You know, you've done a write up and something. It's just
not
a genuine. When I start 100%. Doing the journalistic integrity and I start reading between the lines, like, bro, man's breaking our play here. I said, AFCON. Slide tackle. You got paid. That's why you gave it 5 stars. I felt like I saw some of that sentiment, innit?
Yeah.
Because on the flip side, same way some people are saying, oh, it's rubbish. It's not. It's far from that. I think it was just maybe like 1 or 2 dry spots. I think a balance for that conversation is maybe, could this been a series? Now, it's a very easy response to always have. We don't know what the budget's saying. We don't know what Kaluuya's plans were. If he just wants it as this, if he wants to see cool, you know. What would they have done, you know? Because
maybe he just wants to make a film. Like, he's a filmmaker. Like, he's a, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you
budget
know,
as well. There's loads of things that we won't know as just a run-of-the-mill audience watching and just enjoying art in it. So
a lot of film actors, like, you know, they get to that level, and you know, a lot of them want to, you know, be behind the camera and show
also,
things from their artistic
that's where the bread
lens.
is, isn't it?
Hey man,
remember you're the rapper, then you suddenly want to become a label owner. I've seen this film before, bro. Me too. I watched the film,
breaking down the plays. You know,
I hear it, man. I'm not mad at it at all. I do. Also, it's using your network, innit? Like, we see them out. We see the people around like Bart Gigs. See everyone like that whole little section of like the actors, the musicians, the people behind the scenes. Yeah, go and get Kano.
The soundtrack was really good as well.
Soundtrack was good. What I do want though is for people that are maybe having critique of like he played the same role. He's not necessarily the same role. They're just like, when everyone's got a certain style. Denzel, some people's critique like he plays Denzel in every film. I don't agree with that, but it's because maybe your mannerism, how you carry yourself. There is like this certain like darkness behind Kano's eyes sometimes, and I did joke that he was badding up my man again, like he was badding up the Young Bucks in Top Boy. I would like to see him outside of this, what the next role is, because like I said, we spoke about Hope from Top Boy. He played a slightly different role in this. If you've done
Dems, shouts Dems, man. He always puts in a good performance.
He was in Dreaming Whilst Black. Like,
yeah.
He's playing a pops in this. He did his thing. I'd want to see what will be next for Kano, because I feel like he's got a high ceiling as an actor.
Definitely,
I think he's got a really high ceiling. So, you know, we've seen Deshane, and we've seen Ashley Walters do the Deshane character. We've seen him do Bullet Boy. So even like the people that have done like, there's like a certain level when you do like the road style character. For all the critique about us having the same type of films, I want to see those guys that are the premier actors, what they go and do next, innit? Because I think that's really important. Because you want to see our best people do. You want to also see like how far they can stretch their acting skills, innit? So no, yeah, I'm movie fans. I'm not mad at it. My only critique was maybe more just it dragging a little bit, but. That might just be the style in it. So
yeah, and I think with them, like I think with Daniel Kaluuya, because he set such a high bar with like his acting run. I feel like naturally,
it's an Oscar winner right there,
bro. That speech, "I am a revolutionary," when he's playing Fred Hampton, still gives me chills. That he smoked that.
I think he set such a high bar with that, and it kind of makes people forget that like he's for a director, like he's young to be directing like a feature film. His first one, like that's gonna take some time.
Shout out to Kaluuya, man. Like even the press run that I've been seeing, like he's just like he just seems like a good brother, like just full of vibes. We may have to VAR Nope.
Yeah, that was the one. But it wasn't for his acting. Like I think Nope. It was more just like
it's about Jordan Peele's artistic, like, you know, directions and shit.
Hey man, if you're giving us Get Out, you're allowed a few duds, man.
It
is what it is.
Get Out was a cultural reset. I can't lie.
So no, I'm happy with it. But unless there's anything else on the table, we always like to leave people some new music. I don't know if you've got any music it doesn't have to even be new. Any music you're listening to that you're feeling you want to recommend for our listenership before we close out the pod.
Okay, I've been listening to the Lil Kana album, Hugo, which I think is probably, I rate that album highly, probably like one of the best albums to come out of the UK, I'd say, in like the last 5 years. Like, I recommend that.
Lil Kana was on, I was on the tube with him the other day, and I was like, you know what, like that verse on Unknown T's album.
Yeah.
I listened again today, he smoked him.
He
smoked Unknown T.
Yeah.
I know, not like a disrespectful way, but he
said
him.
16 ain't enough, like I've got to give you more bars.
Yeah.
Like he was like, you know, and I didn't really know about Donny like that. I wasn't listening to him.
I'm like Vans, well, I'm late to the party with him, so I'm gonna go. Is that his most recent body of work?
That's the one I'd recommend.
Hugo,
like, even in that verse on that Unknown T one, he's come a bit more like aggressive now, which I like. Whereas some of the previous albums were a bit more melodic, a bit softer. Whereas like Hugo has that similar kind of energy, even if he's talking about like more internal things that he's going through. But the rap is like of a very high quality, but also like you can tell he's an intelligent guy with the way he expresses himself. So I'd recommend Hugo for sure.
He's trying to make that statement, man.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. For me, Destin Conrad, man. Destin Conrad, yeah. He dropped Submissive 2. I think I spoke about it last week briefly.
Yeah, you touched on it lightly. Yeah.
And I think that this is another one of his projects that like just goes. I think that like at the moment he's like one of the best R&B talents out right now. Obviously, like we've been playing him or speaking about him for a number of years since like Colorway days, which was just before the pandemic, I believe, or something like that.
I believe so. Yeah.
So like I think this is like, and he really taps into his fan base in the UK. He's always like in Europe and in the UK, and I was listening to It's Only You on the tape. I think it's like the third song, and how he says certain words, I was like, this is very like London. I mean,
was it giving mans?
like he was working with some people from here, like, and he's been working with Sasha Keeble, who wrote.
Oh, okay.
She helped write on that song, and K1 and Sasha Keeble have been working together, writing together. K1's a producer / artist. I've played a few of her songs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's very cold. So like, yeah, like the music that they put together on this tape, super cold, man. So like, I highly recommend.
What's the tape called again?
Submissive 2. So it's like part 1 came out a couple months ago. So this is the second version. Like he's really in his like, you know, he's embracing his sexuality. Let's just say.
Oh, that's the one with the brazy cover.
Yeah.
So it's not hidden. We know who you are.
Yeah. So like that one, that was Submissive 1.
Yeah.
This is Submissive 2. That's the he's in a headlock.
Oh, that was nice, but the other one, the one he wasn't playing any games. He let them know.
Listen, in the content, like you can hear that, you know.
Listen, but it still slaps.
Listen, music is music.
I love that.
I hear that.
Unknown T. For me, it's such an impressive debut, man. Like I think that it had everything, like that the culture kind of in the UK at least, like it had like a lot of elements embedded into this project. And like he's just one of our unique ones, like where I feel like in this album he's kind of defined himself as an artist and not just a rapper. Just with how like it's been constructed, the production is great, the features came through. There's one at like the latter stages of the album with Scribs Riley. It samples Hard Life with Lightning and Tension back in the day on Channel U. Like it was a banger. And Tension is Talay Riley, who is Scribs Riley's older brother. So like, you know, full circle moment. Like, but them two, like as like young artists from East London, like I think it was dope, and it kind of like capped the album really well. It ended the album really well. Tiana Major 9 is on there as well. Nux, and with such a good project, like it was just a disappointment. Like when I saw where it charted, you know, it landed at 61, and I was just like, good music isn't appreciated enough.
I think there are other things that possibly affect that as well.
100%.
Maybe the week you're dropping. Also, there's people just. I feel like we need to also acknowledge how much street politics now plays a little bit of an issue with regards to our music as well. So where people can be placed, what kind of features you get, because of where you stand where you stand, innit? And the people you might not get along with also do music, and they might also have allegiances, and then the people they work with who are bigger, like it may not necessarily apply all the way to Unknown T, but just from me doing my science over here, I feel like sometimes those things also play a little bit, because you get like the opportunity to maybe have bigger features which kind of amplify your album. Now, he may not have wanted that. I could be speaking out of turn here, but I know some of the things that are done to kind of make projects work.
Yeah, I mean, but my point is that, like, you know, ignoring all of the other stuff that, like, you know, is hyper-focused, like, where the content is ignored, like, it kind of speaks volumes about where we are, because credit to DBE, they went #1 with Flying Colours for
yeah.
their album. But credit to them, they've actually put in the work. Like, if you just look at how much stuff that they've released in the past 6-7 years,
About 9 projects. I think that's
you cannot deny that they've actually fed, which, like, I guess this could have hurt Unknown T, because like prior to this, there's no projects really, do you know what I'm saying, to work from. It's just like singles.
You said he charted where?
61.
And they charted 1?
Yeah, they charted at
And
number one.
not this. I can't even say you're standing on his toes, because the gap between you two is massive.
It is massive. It is massive.
There's a lot of people in between.
I just thought it was a little bit of a piss take, it being that low and the project being that good, and the singles that he dropped for it.
Is he signed to a major label?
I don't know.
I think so. I think he is.
What you got? Like, there was that class of the drill, like obviously Lowski went jail and like a lot of those guys that came out of their deals were just on the back end of them. You go and check the numbers; they're not sold well. So I think it's not just an Unknown T thing. There's a lot going on with people's numbers, and there's also been rule changes in regards to what things count.
Yeah.
So even DBE, they got around that
he's on a major still.
They got around that by apparently it's like 40% of the numbers were packaged into their ticket sales.
Oh yeah, and
So,
I mean
they've got
they've
an active audience who
they've built their fan
6
base.
or 7 O2s deep. So now, if the rules are different, they may not have charted as high. Now you don't. It's just good music is good music, but if we're trying to give
DB are clear,
context
they are
and an
clear.
explanation to maybe why
clear.
certain people end up where they end up, that's you working the rules to your favor.
But like, this is at the same time, we have to take into account that we are comparing like I don't know how many ever project it is to a debut.
But we should never have been the
Do you know
first.
what I'm saying?
I didn't like that even became a conversation.
I'm not making a
You're not you,
comparison.
not you,
It's
not
just
you.
like, you know,
The fact
obviously
that came out.
they're already like they've
It's
done,
2 different sounds.
They've done what, like, obviously a lot of the half or even more than half of the rappers in the
And even check
UK
it
are
from
aspiring
20
to
any
get
minute
to.
now,
Exactly. I
Do you
think,
know what I'm saying?
I think
Like,
definitely, like as you say, like they're however many albums deep, and then I think that's where I think hopefully like Unknown T is not. I'm sure it may be disappointed because I'm sure he's an ambitious person and had targets, but thinking like this is your debut album, like this is the beginning. It's not the end of the race.
Yeah.
And
he should be proud of that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And he created something amazing. I think if he continues consistently to make like good music, like, I feel like you'll see the like fans will follow. I think a good example of that, I think, is Little Sims, where when you check her projects, like they never chart like super high. But I went to her like Alexandra Palace show. She did that twice. She's been touring all over.
People are coming out to see you. You can't really. Streaming's different. There's a lot going on with manipulation numbers.
She's
You can't
putting the work. She's putting the work. She's built the fan base. Like, people, you know, really need to base a lot of credit in the fact that, like, you know, these artists are really building their fan base, and it's getting bigger and bigger. Multiple projects, multiple features that they jump on, like just being around and knowing when to strike, like, you know, where you have moments, and then obviously singles and visuals, like they all play a part. Like, I think Unknown T will be okay, but it was just like, for me personally,
because you enjoyed it. You would like to have seen chart higher and that.
Yeah, I was just like, he did it right from the intro. You know, even when you got to the middle, there was an interlude, and like the beats, like it was just like
that beat for Bon Appetit. I said it last week. I think that's one of the coldest songs on the album.
You can see that, like, he took time with it. It took about a year, I think, to make. So, you know, like, I appreciate the aspect of artists when they really put like a lot into a project and you can hear it.
Outside of putting a lot in regards to making it, so I've had my angle in maybe like street politics playing a part. I could be wrong on that. I'll just put that there. Putting a lot of effort. You really enjoy the music. We like seeing it chart higher. Outside of that, like when it comes to that promotion, do you think there are any missteps there? Because I saw that become a little bit of a conversation where it's like, you know, everyone's going to look at themselves first. Yeah, come set off the cuff. Take us out of it for a second. Was there enough of that? Are we doing enough of working the circuit, trying to like squeeze every ounce out of it, where like everybody knows this project is good and it's out, and showcasing maybe more of your personality, your story? Was that done enough? Yeah,
it's true. And I suppose like you've got a team for all of that kind of stuff, like, you know, that they might be responsible for. I don't know, but you can't just be going to rap shows. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we've seen you outside of rap. We've seen you like in a comedy setup when you were a cast member of Does the Shoe Fit? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so we've seen that you can do other things. Maybe try and capitalize off that. You know, like
fashion.
I just fashion. Like, you know, you've seen him do several runways, but I'm not sure how they tied it to the rollout of the actual album.
That's what I'm talking about. Maybe like, you know, it's like, it's just obviously an easy thing to do, but I still think that there is a part to be played with regards to our media as well. Just cover all the bases, man. I just feel like, you know, so I don't know obviously what their goals were, but I just feel like that still needs to be done. And also the album's only been at 5 minutes. Like, who knows where it's gonna be in 3-4 weeks? Like, it's
true.
Because there's no reason why it can't keep climbing or stay there for ages. You know, and then you go out and tour this project. You know, so
it's good UK music right there.
No, I enjoyed it, innit? So, but Hugo from Locana, obviously you said Submissive 2 from Destin Conrad. I'm still listening. I actually went back to the DB. It's cool. I get it. It makes sense. Still listening to Unknown T. And outside that, just like old school stuff. I've been like in my old school UK rap grime bag, just like stuff that's like floating all over the web. That's not on streaming platforms. I've been doing a lot of that, like sets and stuff. So that's where I'm at.
Skepta dropped.
I did listen to that.
It's called Jan Grover. I don't know how to pronounce this name.
Yeah, I never know how to.
Who was it? Udumodu Black.
Yeah.
I told you already, man. Udumodu Black.
Yeah, and Idris Elba. He's got a verse on there. It's cool, I guess.
You know, he's got to allow Idris from a different era. That's how he used to speak. Like, people forget he was a DJ and he wanted to. Idris from a different. That's why, it's different.
They're giving like Idris like his moment in it to like lay a 16.
You know, your uncle's in the studio.
Blast dropped a single, Heart Ain't Empty. There's a vibe still. I like Blast, man. He's cold. And I think that's it, really. Like,
Meek and Fivio Foreign dropped something as well.
That was cold. That was cold.
I wasn't mad at that.
I like that. So that was cold still. And Gunna dropped a tune as well. And there's a video like honoring like the goats of like video vixens.
Okay, we'll check that out.
Check the video out.
I'm happy to end it there. Thanks again for coming down, Neef. It's been an absolute pleasure. Let the people know where they can find you, how to purchase the book. Just give the shouts out you need to give out, and then we'll get out of here.
Got you. Well, no, thank you for having me. I appreciate that. And the book Where We Come From, Rap Home and Hope in Modern Britain, out now. Waterstones, Foils, Amazon, whichever's easiest.
Favor and favor,
of course. And then if you just find me on Twitter and Instagram at Aniefiook and Anifieok EKP, I'll be there, and you can find the book through those links too. It's been a pleasure, man. Listen, man. When it's time for book number 2, come and see us again, man.
Yeah, man.
We ain't stopping here now. I'm sure the family believe in the hustle now, innit?
Yeah. Finally, like when my mum saw it, she's like, okay, like she finally cut.
To my son.
Like, she's been in the WhatsApp, all her WhatsApp groups.
I love that.
So
love it. I've got a copy. Fols has a copy. Chrissy has a copy. You should all get a copy as well, man. It's a really good book, well written, and you know it's an extensive timeline of what we love.
It's been a pleasure, man. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.